Next up is Courtney Perdios. Take it away.
Thank you so much. Hi, everybody. I know a lot of you on here, but for those of you that I don't know, my name is Courtney Perdios, and I'm a current member of the Quincy School Committee. I was appointed earlier this year to fill a vacancy through the end of the year, and I've really loved every minute that I've had so far of standing up and speaking out for our students, our families, and our teachers. And I'm running this fall for the opportunity to continue to serve on the school committee. A little about myself. I live in Quincy Point on Ruggles Street with my husband, Steve, and our 3 daughters, Casey, who's 13, and MJ, who's 11. They both go to Central Middle School in the Honors APC program. And my little one, Hannah, is 10, and she's at Point Webster in 5th grade. And we also have a 10-month-old puppy named Loki, named after the Norse god of mischief, which he definitely is. So that's our family. And we're longtime volunteers in our community. We're members of Friends of Faxon Park. My husband started the Quincy Environmental Network, which I helped with a lot of those years. Members of the Ward 2 Civic Association. We're active at St. Joseph's Church. We led the effort to bring the Community Preservation Act to Quincy in 2006. And that has funded many projects across the city, including preserving land for open space, creating outdoor classrooms at our schools, and improving school playgrounds. And for the past 8 years, I've been a strong parent advocate for our school system, from increasing family engagement and building community as co-president of Clifford Marshall PTO, to regularly bringing parent concerns to the superintendent and school leaders as co-president of citywide PTO. I've spent many years actively working to heighten parent voices and better our school system. And I bring with me to the school committee the voice and perspective of a parent with children in our schools right now. I think it's really especially clear after these last 18 months that it's more important than ever to have parents with children in our schools right now on our school committee in order to understand how the policies and decisions that we make are actually affecting our students today. I also bring with me to the committee a strong independent voice. I always have, and I will continue to ask so many questions. The mayor doesn't love me all the time for asking so many questions, but that's okay. I'll ask them anyway, and look at issues from every perspective, and make sure that we're always keeping our students at the center of every decision that I make. I just want to thank you guys on Quincy Dems for hosting the event tonight. And I'd like to thank everyone on the call again for joining us, and I'm looking forward to your questions.
School Committee Person Perdios, this is Joe Murphy, and I have your first question.
Awesome. Hi, Joe.
Hi. What are your priorities for the Quincy school system in the coming year?
That's a great question. I have a lot of priorities. I have a lot of things I'd like to work on. Number one right now is obviously supporting our students and our teachers and our staff as they continue to transition back into the classroom full time, checking in often with every member of our school community and being ready to kind of pivot to address whatever needs or issues are coming up is going to continue to kind of be at the top of my mind in the short term until we're a little more out of this. And I'm not sure, that might change depending on what the needs are. Just as we all come back, we've all kind of been through a trauma. So not really sure what we're going to need, but as we listen to people and hear what the needs are, we can kind of keep pivoting and addressing that. There's also a lot of long-term projects that I'm really excited to continue to work on. I've always been kind of a big advocate for bringing our 5th graders back to Clifford Marshall and Lincoln Hancock. It's a passion of mine. We have 11 elementary schools in the city, and 9 of them go up to 5th grade, and 2 of them do not. And that was because of a temporary space problem that we put our 5th graders at Point Webster and Southwest Middle School. And I think it's about time we find a way for these families to bring those 5th graders back. So our 10-year-old students across the city can stay another year in elementary school where I think that they developmentally belong. Also like to work on continue to find more ways to bring challenging academic opportunities to students in our younger grades that are working above grade level, and also supporting their unique social emotional needs so they stay engaged and challenged and excited about learning. I'd like to work on improving communication and transparency. We always need to include the voices of our families, our students, and our teachers. And we also have more work to do to make the path to receiving special education services easier to navigate. So I have a lot of things I'd like to do, but again, the priority right now is definitely getting our kids and our staff and our teachers back.
All right, Michael Berry, I have the second question. Actually, it's a follow-up on the first one. So why and how did you select those as your issues?
Just, being a mom that has 3 kids in the system, it's just, things that kind of were personal for us. We're in one of those school districts that our 5th graders go up to middle school, and just, researching why that is, seeing the effect it has on families like mine in Quincy Point and in Southwest Quincy, and just, feeling their frustration of not being heard, and just wanting to advocate, to do all I can to speak up for them. That's kind of what drove me kind of into more of the public scene of advocacy, was that issue. But also I've been advocating for my kids to receive more advanced, challenging academic work for years as well. And what we were finding is, because there was nothing system-wide, it fell a lot to the teachers to have to kind of go off on their own and find subject matter and ways to challenge our kids, which, we have great teachers and they did. But it always kind of felt like an onus that we were asking these teachers that already have a classroom full of kids to kind of find ways to, reinvent the wheel to reach our children. And, with 9,000 kids in our system, I'm sure that our kids aren't the only ones that are in that situation. So being able to service all of our children system-wide would be easier on teachers, better for parents that don't have to advocate so hard, if shouldn't have to anyway, but also if they're, busy working 2 jobs, or just have other things going on in their lives, and aren't capable of advocating like that. We need to provide those opportunities for our kids. So kind of just, I guess, personal experience. And then just as you connect with families across the city, you hear their experiences too. For the most part, my kids have had a great experience in QPS, but I know not all families have. So just listening to their experience, not getting enough communication, not hearing about special ed services, and just being confused and frustrated and unsure where to go. Sometimes they'll go on Facebook, and that's, not really where I want our families to get their information. We should be providing that to them.
Hi, Courtney, this is David Jacobs. So nice to see you.
Thanks.
My question, I know you've probably gotten a lot of this at the door, and it seems like everyone has their own theory on this, but in your own words, can you define critical race theory as it relates to education? Can critical race theory be beneficial to our students? Why do you think it would be or would not be beneficial for Quincy and its students?
Thanks, Dave. Thanks for the question. Yeah, definitely at a lot of doors, I am hearing about CRT. And what I'm hearing is people saying, you're not going to bring that CRT thing here to Quincy, right? That's pretty much universally what is happening. And honestly, when I first started hearing the first evening, I'll always remember the first evening I started hearing about it. It must have broke on some news channel, because I had like 4 doors that evening that asked about it, and I hadn't even heard the topic come up before in Quincy. So what I did was the next day I called the superintendent, the assistant superintendent, asked them, have you guys heard anything about this? Is anyone talking about bringing CRT to Quincy? Anything like that? And there wasn't. There's no one looking to bring it here. They're not looking to bring it here. And honestly, it's more of a higher, college level and above, graduate level kind of theory to take on. It's not really something that's a K-12 kind of.
Sorry, Courtney, you were muted accidentally. Let me just get that fixed. Sorry, go ahead.
Thanks, sorry. Doesn't let me do it on my own, so thanks. So it's not really super, appropriate for K-12 anyway. I don't think that was the original intent of it anyway. But what I want to just make sure that I say about CRT and what I tell people at the door is, because everyone kind of hears different parts and pieces of what it is, I like to be really clear about the parts that I support and don't support, or things in that topic that I do and don't support. So I don't support bringing anything to Quincy schools that would pit races against each other, that would, make anyone feel that they're different from someone else in a bad way, and that would kind of segregate them out. I also don't support anything that would kind of that would, make any student feel bad about where they came from, about things that happened in their ancestry. I don't want anyone to have that feeling when they come. I want them to be proud of who they are, and bring everyone together. What I would like to see, I'd like us to put more into our curriculum, role models that look like all the students in our school system, every gender, every ethnicity, every race, every color, every sexuality, just people in the curriculum, that role models that students can look to and just be inspired by. I'd like us to teach Native American history, not just at Thanksgiving. I'd like us to teach Black history, not just during Black History Month. So I think, but that's not really what CRT is, but those are the things about kind of surrounding race, and that I think that we could, curriculum wise, look to expand. But I hope that answers your question. That's what I say at the door. So I want to be true to what I say out there.
All right, I have the fourth question. It's how would you intend to balance the needs of taxpayers with those of our school children?
That is a great question. So I feel like school committee is one of those only races where when you knock on doors, those aren't always the people that you're representing on the school committee sometimes, right? You're not just representing families, you're representing people's tax dollars too. So it's, we're so focused on our kids and our schools and our students that we have to remember that the money that's going in there comes from all of us around Quincy, our taxpayers. So and I do hear at the doors that, well, I don't have kids in the system, but it is important to me. So what I say, and what I truly believe, is that when you have children in the school system, you can really see if the things that are being proposed are really needed in our community. Some things sound good on paper, great idea, but if we don't really need it in the school system, I don't want to spend anyone's hard-earned tax dollars on it. I want to just spend those tax dollars. Like I say, I know people are working really, really hard for them. We have, high enough taxes in Quincy. So I know it's tough for some families to let go of that money and see it go into the school system, but I want to use each one of those dollars the best we can for things that are going to directly service what our kids need right now. And I think that really having that current parent perspective on that really does help to see which of those issues and things are most needed, the services are most needed in our schools right now.
All right, how are we doing time-wise?
We're at just under 13 minutes, so I think we have time for one more question.
All right. Okay, so the next question is similar. It's on budgetary again. As school committee members, you will have to make some budgetary decisions. How do you define your priorities on the next budget?
On the next budget. So yeah, we just approved this one. So looking ahead, definitely we're seeing the need for more, we need to support our teachers better. We need to do a little bit better in, how we're showing our appreciation to our teachers and making them feel supported. Not just our teachers, our staff, support staff, our school nurses, all of this. We need to make sure that we're investing enough in the people that make our system, provide the structure and backbone to our system and make it work. So we need to make sure that we're focusing, first and foremost, I think there, because right now I think that's a big shortcoming that we're having right now is treating them financially, since the question was about budget, treating them financially with respect. So that would be one of my top concerns. Also making sure special education is getting all the services they need and the support they need, guidance, social, emotional, our security staff. I think a lot of those support staff, we just need to make sure that they have all the equipment they need, they have all the training they need, they have all the support and enough staff to handle all the things that we're giving them. We keep adding duties to everyone's job plate. And, at some point we need to say, maybe we need to hire some more people. So that definitely, I think, family liaisons were in the last budget. That was a new position that was created there. I'd love to see that continue. I'd like to see how that goes this year, and if necessary, increase that to build community and have parents be more engaged with the schools. And I think the REACH program, which is kind of the first permeation of an advanced program for younger grades, which I was happy to be part of developing on that. I'd love to see that continue to kind of keep coming down into younger grades and perhaps look for a little extra staffing there. always making sure that we're looking at things that are not needed, things like that as we go along to counterbalance that.
Okay, thank you, Courtney. This takes us right up to your closing statement.
Awesome, thank you. So thanks again, everybody, for being here and hearing about us. That's all we can ask for at the door, is that you listen to all of us and you listen to our stances, our positions, and you hear why we're interested in doing this job. And for me, it's not a political stepping stone. Politics is not something that is intrinsic to me at all. I'm kind of an introvert at heart, but speaking up for other people, helping other people is really, what I feel called to do. And learning about our school system is something that I've enjoyed doing over the past 8 years or 9 years since my oldest was in kindergarten. And just being able to help out, learn, and elevate voices as much as I can. I kind of see the school system as we have teachers, we have our families, and we have our students in this triangle. And our job on the school committee is to make sure that triangle, that flow is working well, looking at what's broken, what could be better, what could be improved, and addressing that right away. Just getting to work. And I'd love the opportunity to continue and respectfully ask for one of your 3 votes for school committee on November 2nd. Thank you.